Hi, it's Kevin May, the Chief of PhocusWire. We're here in the PhocusWire studio in association with Pros. Really pleased, Alex Knigge, that you're joining us today. You're the Senior Vice President of Digital at Emirates. So thank you very much.
Nice to meet you.
It's great, so thank you. Now, Senior Vice President of Digital, you talk to another airline, they have a Head of Innovation or a Chief Digital Officer. You get lots of different kinds of titles. Just give us a sense of what is your particular role? What are the boundaries of what you're responsible for at Emirates, first of all, please?
So actually my full job title is Senior Vice President, Corporate Communications, Marketing and Brand, focused on digital. So I'm part of the marketing team. It's a very, very long title.
That is a very long title,
But I'm part of the marketing team.
Yep.
And I look after basically the customer-facing digital experience, and we support our commercial teams to increase our online revenue.
Okay. So who do you kind of report into? Are you into the CEO? I mean, is there?
I report into the head of marketing at Emirates.
Okay. And where do I kind of want to get a sense of where are the boundaries? I mean, when do you say this is probably something that's a little bit more to do with a different department? I mean, do you get involved in revenue management, or is that something completely different entirely?
No, revenue management is a very different department.
Yeah.
So what I get involved in is basically what we say, so UX, so the design of all of our digital channels.
Okay.
And then analytics, I get very involved in, sort of the marketing data, marketing analytics, and also performance marketing and online marketing.
Okay. Right, so we've got the basics out of the way. Let's dive in a little bit. What would you say is for your particular role as the shortened version, the SVP of Digital? I mean, what is your biggest priority, do you think, above anything else that you have to do?
I mean, I'm part of marketing, and we focus very strongly on consumers, on customers. So we try to understand how do customers behave, what do they like, what they dislike, where are opportunities to engage deeper with customers. We are really brand focused.
Yeah.
So we always trying to really match customer expectations and ideally delight them and really sort of keep customers happy. I think that's, as a company, is very important to us. And I try to do that in the digital world. So we do a lot of surveying of customers in terms of what do they appreciate and like, and what are sort of pain points, and then we try to address these pain points. So that's one big aspect, and the other big aspect is to drive revenue growth, really.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to come to a pain points question later on, so we'll come back to that. Okay. What would you say then? So you've got the biggest priority. What would you say therefore is the biggest challenge? The
biggest challenge, honestly, I find is mobile. Because the shift to mobile is very complicated, and because conversion is so much lower, and if you do a lot of paid marketing and you look at your marketing ROI, and often when we go after paid marketing now, you can only find consumers on mobile, and on mobile conversion is so much lower, so that for us, the shift to mobile has been quite tricky. I mean, we adjusted really nice in terms of the experience and how people now, when they come to us on mobile devices, I think the experience is very strong.
Yep.
But in the marketing world, we're still trying to find ways to make the ROI work really on our mobile marketing investment.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've not heard many people say that the conversion. No, we know that conversions on mobile are lower, but it becoming quite a big challenge for you, or, as you say, the biggest challenge. How do you try and kind of overcome that? Is it from a user experience perspective? Is it from a expectation perspective, or what?
I mean, definitely provide a great experience, but also I think find ways to provide a good ROI, even when customers are on mobile, and even if the conversion isn't that high. I think at the end, this is where consumers are. If you want to find consumers, a lot of consumers are on their phones all the time.
Yeah, okay. So you, now the pain points question. So you were saying, customers tell you what their biggest pain points are. I mean, would you agree with them that those are the biggest pain points? I mean, a lot of the time people say, especially in the airline industry, it's actually something that's out of our control. It's the airport experience, which is perhaps the biggest pain point. Would you agree with that?
I think we would never say as a brand that the pain point is out of our control, because even if it's a stakeholder or it's a partner, you can always try to improve it, right? We did a lot of work at the airport to make actually the experience better. If you look at a lot of the research, customers, I think, and travelers, the biggest stress points for them are at the airport and also on board. Once they sort of put the luggage up and try to find their seats, that tends to be. And at the airport, we can do a lot, right? Through technology and mobile, we can show where there's congestion, we can show what are the quicker ways, we can have wayfinding to get to the gates, we can leverage the time at the gates to already show them what movies they have to watch. And airports for us are big touch points, and we're always trying to find ways to make the experience better.
And Dubai in particular, which is your home airport, has been doing the biometric project. So is that something that Emirates was involved in, or was that an airport project?
It's usually it's sort of collaborative joint projects. For example, there was quite a lot of people from Emirates who tested. So they set up like a tunnel. And super cool. I mean, you walk through the tunnel.
I've seen some videos of it. It's great.
And you basically just don't have to stop and do anything. Just walk through a tunnel, it recognizes you, and off you go.
Okay. So that's something that you would be able to do at DXB because it's your home airport. But, you fly to so many different destinations where there's probably a varying range of experiences. I mean, that's something as an airline you perhaps can't influence.
It is complicated because if you look at mobile and mobile boarding passes, for example, we have them not consistently everywhere because some airports don't actually support mobile boarding passes. You still need the physical paper one to pass all the security checks. And in an ideal world, you would basically, as a traveler, you would come to an airport. There is some form of biometric recognition. Just walk through. Everything's automated, smart. You don't have any paper anymore. Everything's seamless. But I think that in some airports, in some countries, they are more innovative, and the experience is getting closer to that. But there's many other places left that
there's always a big distance between the ideal world and reality. And last of all, Alex, I mean, how do you see your role evolving over time, given the focus on digital? I mean, what do you expect is going to come under your kind of sphere of influence within Emirates in, say, a couple of years' time?
I see myself as someone who's part of the marketing team, and marketing really is about growth and about customer. And I really think that digital fits really nicely within that space, because digital is also about growth and it's about a customer. So some companies have digital teams more on the technology side, but I think the risk is then your work is too technology-led and not customer-led or business-led. Sometimes companies have separate digital transformation programs. The risk is then it's not integrated enough into core business. So I quite like our model where we have different teams that work very closely together and are very aligned within Emirates. And sort of the market team is very much the driver of digital experience and helping to increase online revenue.
Okay, right. Alex Knigge, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.